some of you remember me from last time, am I right? Yes, and so I'm back here today to empower your life for about 30 to 45 minutes, and we're going to talk about mood disorder could be a sign of something else, okay? Everybody in this room have some type of mood disorder or have experienced mood disorder, am I right? Yeah. It's one thing that we can go from being happy to sad in a second, mad to glad in another second, so in a matter of seconds. So today I'm going to talk about mood disorders in older adults, and we're going to discuss, even in the midst of it, I'm going to tell you some of the foods that heals different mood disorder and some of the reasons why that it could be lead to something else that your mood could be switching, okay? So my name is Rhonda. I am from Therapeutic Alternatives, and we are an agency throughout North Carolina, and so I'm a part of the VIA team, which is, y'all know VIA Health is oversees us in our mental health, it's known as a mental health agency. And so basically what we do is that we go throughout North Carolina just providing education classes to persons who work with older adults and older adults, okay? This one here is just a disclaimer. I'm not here to diagnose or give any kind of consultation or anything, but just providing you with the best information. All right, so my objective today is to empower you about what something else could possibly be happening to you if your mood started to switch, okay? It doesn't necessarily has to always be internal. It could be external, but I'm going to talk about everything in the amount of this time, okay? And I'm going to get your participation, all right? So here we go, all right? Trying to switch slides. Here we go. All right, so what is mood disorder? Okay, what do you say mood disorder is? How do you know what mood is?
When it fluctuates.
When it fluctuates, okay? When your behavior starts to fluctuate. So mood disorders, according to the health profession, it describes types of depression. Have we all been depressed in this room before? And or it could be bipolar disorder, but mood disorder doesn't have an age, am I right? No, it doesn't have an age. So it actually, you don't have to be a certain age to be able to have mood disorders. And so we're going to talk about some of those. What happens and what is it? It is an attitude, and it is a conscious state of mind. It is a what? A feeling that you feel within yourself. So when you notice that your mood swings or your mood changes, do you know your body starts to respond to the mood that you're in? Get angry and what happens? Your blood pressure goes up, your heart starts to beat fast. I don't know if you notice that your neurological system starts to have nervous, shaking, get scared, same way, things like that happen, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. What are some of the types of mood disorders that we talk about? Is depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, mood disorders that is linked to other health conditions, and this is what I'm going to focus on today, and substance induced. We all know about that, right? So reading articles about substance induced with older adults, we know that it's pain medication, but also the older adults are traveling back to those days where they had the Woodstock, and they're sitting around now, and marijuana is actually on the rise with older adults for various reasons, okay? All right, how do you get diagnosed? I just want to give you this little preliminary first. How do you get diagnosed? If you start having mood disorders and they last in a period of time, you know you can go to the doctor, okay? The first thing you go to the doctor, what do they normally ask you? Are you depressed? Do they not ask you that now? Okay? Some of them should. If they don't, they normally ask, are you depressed? They normally ask older adults. If you have been depressed or have anxiety for such a quiet time, then you can also let your doctor know, but they can do a medical workup on you, okay? The other thing they can do is lab work to determine whether it's something else other than depression or anxiety, they may be able to, when they do blood work, they can determine whether it is some kind of chemical imbalance in the brain, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, etc. And then the other thing they can do is a psychiatric evaluation. That takes time with the, sit down with the psychiatrist, and then they go through this evaluation, okay? Because if you go to the doctor and you tell them you're depressed, and they could either do one or two things, what will they do? Prescribe or let you see a therapist, right? Okay, so let's take a look here, all right? So we're going to go into the part of talking about depression and anxiety. And the reason why is because depression and anxiety is common among older adults. So we know here that you experience anger, stress, anxiety, hallucination, paranoid disorders. Those things does happen as we age. And a lot of times, a lot of these mood disorders can be environmental. And when I say external, if you lived in your home for about 50 or 60 years, community does change, am I right? When you bought that home, people weren't hanging out on the corner. Now you drive home, all these group of people are hanging out on the corner, and you are, one, it could be fear, you could be scared, and then it could lead to what? Depression or anxiety. But there could be something else internal going on too that causes depression or anxiety, okay? So always keep in mind what could be the possible leads to that. So it could be so much as, if it's not my environment, you start asking questions like, well, what is it? Is it my medication that's causing this? Is it the fact that I'm living alone now is causing this? At first, when I lost a spouse. These things can lead to depression and anxiety. Now, in between each one of these, I am going to tell you foods that actually help with mood disorders like depression and anxiety, and also the 4 things that could be something else. So let's get started into it. Depression and anxiety is known as a mood disorder in older adults. We know it's most common as you age. Here are some things that you can do. One you can do is do what? Eat what?
Vegetables.
Vegetables, leafy greens. Why do I tell you that? It's because it is an inflammation what? Fire. Okay? So you know that eating greens is healthy for you. These kids today do not eat. You ask them to eat a cucumber, they think it's foreign. You ask them to eat a tomato, they don't even ever want to put it on their burger. Y'all notice that? My daughter will peel off a sandwich. And I'm like, if I just paid for the meat and the bread, we could have had that at home. But eating leafy greens will actually help with lowering your mood. If you feel like you have depression or things like that, eating enough of it can actually help minimize some of those symptoms, especially with anxiety. Okay? So how many of us have green shakes in the morning? Okay, all right. Another thing that helps with depression and anxiety is what? Walnuts. Okay, so how many of us eat nuts every day? Okay, so walnuts help. What does walnuts do to you? It is a what? A mood booster. Okay, you want your mood boost? Start eating some walnuts. And also, we know omega-3 and fatty acids is very good. So when you have depression or anxiety and those symptoms are happening, you want to actually try to, minimize or just, when it comes to anxiety, all you got to do is walnuts. And let me tell you, I got to tell you now, just don't go buy a bag and eat it today and think it's going to cure you. You got to be consistent in what I'm telling you. You cannot just have one bag and be like, okay, all right, or just go to grab the bag when you know you got anxiety disorder, okay? But just know that these foods does help in this when it comes to anxiety disorder. Now, I know y'all love this one. Avocado. Did y'all know that helps too? All right, so avocado is for you is called a what?
Brain power.
Brain power. I just saw a YouTube where this guy actually lives his life off of avocado.
Wow.
Yeah, he has one in the morning with water, one in the afternoon with water, then he has like a sensible meal. But he lives his life off of it, and he's like 65 and 70. I mean, he had the muscles, had more muscles than I do. But, and I was just like, avocado, man. I had to put a little pepper on it to make it have a little taste. But he just pulled it out of his bag, opened it up, and then he just started eating it. So know that if y'all want some brain power, hell with depression, anxiety, avocado, okay? Another thing that helps with cell repairing, y'all been told this before, is eat a lot of what? Berries. Blueberries, raspberries, and all that. Guess what it is doing to your cells? Repairing it. All right, so we want to repair our cells on all cellular level, okay? So we want to repair our cells on all cellular levels. So we want to make sure that we have what? 1 to 2 cups of berries all day. So you want to drop that mood, depression. Then we got to start adding more fruits and vegetables to our diet, right?
Yeah.
All right, and remember the number one thing that could also trigger your mood could be you could be depressed or you could be having anxiety, okay? Another reason, are y'all ready?
Ready.
All right. So before we go into the other reason, who gets depressed? I done told you who gets depressed. It doesn't have a discrimination to it. All race, age, social, economic, women, teenagers. Y'all know COVID did a number on our teenagers. They're suffering with depression. And depression is most common in mental health disorders in the elderly. So this is one of the things we have to think about. If you are, I always tell you, talk to someone or talk to your doctor. The second reason that thing that can also alter your mood, and it doesn't necessarily has to be tied into medical, is what? Loneliness and isolation. There are some people today that are still isolated. Yep. And now that we're getting ready to embark on whatever that's happening now, you don't know. I don't know what's happening, but we got something new, something old, and they putting it all together, and we're going to see what we got in this world, okay? So, loneliness and isolation, and that is another reason why your mood could be changing, okay? And when people start to develop certain things in their life, like illnesses, pain, what do? The first thing they do? Hibernate and isolate, okay? All right, so what are some of the causes to this, all right? So I did this whole collage. I tried to move this. I don't know why it's still there, but it could be disability, okay? You're not able to do what you used to do, your hips, your knees, shoulders. I just learned something new the other day because I have hip and shoulder. And I was asking a question, you know, why my hip bother me so much and my knees bother me so much, you know? And I'm 53. I read an article that, since we're all women in this room, said that, sidebar, that the lady, they thought it was something else, but it was menopause that triggered the pains in her body. And isn't that interesting? I never put those two together. And no one would never put those two together, that all her ailment symptoms came from when her body started to change. And so she talked about mood disorder and things like that. And I was just saying here that sometimes we think it could be something else when it is something else, okay? So how do you know family can put you in a place of isolation? I don't want to be bothered with them no more. And, you know, they ain't listening to me. They don't understand that. You know, so it could be deaths a loss of a loved one could put us in isolation, and illnesses. Get diagnosed with something, and all of a sudden, we feel like we're all alone and we're on this island. And some people don't have support. Some elderly people do not have support. This is the reason why I'm talking to you about being lonely and what loneliness does is because what happens? It is bad for the, what do they say? What is that saying that they say about people dying from a broken heart? That's exactly true. Or passing away or having some symptoms. It says making sure that you eat right because loneliness can put you in a place where you don't eat right or you don't eat at all. Okay, so let's go into it. Y'all gonna be happy about this. What help with loneliness? Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Get you some nuts, put them in the hand, have them around the table. And you know what? When we used to do the holidays, we had holidays, and what happened during the holiday? They always had them nuts and the nutcracker. What happened to the nutcracker? I haven't seen the nutcracker in almost probably about 20 years. But nuts is good for loneliness, okay? And so what happens is that it has vitamin E, it helps with cholesterol, but each nut has its health benefit. But it's also known to lift the mood, okay? Whether you're a Brazil nut eater, whether you're a pecan eater, whether you're a pistachio eater, just make sure you have some nuts, okay, around your home, all right? And if we look at it, it will change mood because most of the nuts are in the shape of a heart or your brain, okay? Y'all don't know y'all eating y'all brain and y'all heart, do you? Y'all thought y'all was eating food just to be having food, am I right? You're not eating food just to be having food. You're eating for your heart and you're eating for your, yes. All right, so if you notice they're in shapes. If I put them together, even these little almonds here, we put them together, wouldn't that look like a heart? It would look like a heart. So loneliness, do what? Get some, ride around with them in your car and have them in your hands. And I know it's crazy because they got all kinds of nuts. I was looking at the different kind of almonds they got. They got habanero, they got mango flavor, vinegar flavor. Do y'all notice that in the grocery store? There are assorted flavors of nuts. So I just ask that you stick to the.
Gaynell says she eats nuts every single day.
Yo, you do.
Okay now.
My sister brings up there to the house. I eat it all during the day.
All do. See, and it lifts moods, and also it helps with what? Loneliness. And the reason why I go around and teach our seniors and staff this is because you guys are like disciples. Y'all, you know, you might have some peers at home that used to come out, they don't come out. And then the first thing, you don't want to ask them about diet and they'll get concerned, but you'll be like, have you tried this or have you tried that? Okay? All right? So the two things we came across, we said depression and anxiety is something else that causes mood disorder. Loneliness causes mood disorder. And here goes the one that you guys have known so much about. Because nobody in here wants to lose their mind. So, because you don't want to lose your mind, and you know that memory loss is one of the most common issues that happen as we age, no one wants to lose it. And because of that, the moment you know that you're starting to not remember, then what is going to happen to your mood? It's going to lower your mood. You're going to either become depressed, you're going to either try to figure it out, you're going to become frustrated, agitated, anxiety kick in, because now you're trying to figure out something, but you don't want everybody else to know that you don't know that what you know about yourself, okay? And so Alzheimer's and dementia is known as one, confusion. Nobody wants to be confused in here, do they? No. Now that bothers me too. And the other thing is here, just knowing that you are having difficulties in doing something. You was balancing your checkbook today, but now you're not balancing your checkbook. Yeah, the lights got cut off and you was all used to pay them light bills. And that truly happens. Okay? So here we go. What's going to help with that? Well, you know, dementia is going to, as we age, we're going to experience it. But what can we help to just either slow down the process and what we can do. Number one thing you guys do, and I just love it, y'all are exercising. That says a lot. All right, because exercising and breathing right and breath work brings oxygen to your brain. Okay, so that is very important. So what are we gonna do for this? I know y'all love this. Don't y'all love this? Beets.
And big juice.
And beet juice.
Yes, sir.
Beet juice with an apple will help with this, and we talked about anxiety. So it has these antioxidants and nitrates that are in it that help with stimulating your brain. So every day, some part of your day, or 2-3 times a day, because beet change everything in your body and everything that comes out of the body. Okay? So I just wanted you to know, don't get alarmed when you see red everywhere. Okay? So beets help with what? Slowing it down, because it has antioxidants and nitrates, which is good for the brain. Okay? Y'all ready for the next one? Oh my God, y'all gonna love this. I picked out the best. Dark chocolate. I know that's how we like to look for our men. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, we do.
That's how you like to look for your man, dark chocolate. You know, but dark chocolate is
I tell you, that cocoa is bitter.
it's bitter. It is true. It is bitter.
That cocoa, because I used to buy, when I buy chocolate candy, I buy all different kinds, and I buy the dark chocolate, I eat it, it's bitter.
Okay.
The cocoa.
You talking about cocoa in the can?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's bitter.
Well, I learned something new today.
Dark chocolate candy.
Yeah, now dark chocolate candy is very expensive.
Yeah.
And I noticed that they have percentages on like 98%, 97%, 100%. But you only can eat a little block of it because it's so bitter. But if you have dark chocolate in your diet,
Dark chocolate, I can sometimes I get 3 blocks, they have in blocks, the small block. I can just eat one, I eat like 2 or 3.
really, see? But you know it's good for your, yeah, and so dark chocolate, and guess what else did it do? I forgot to tell you. It increased blood flow to the brain. So make sure, even if you can't eat it all, or 2 or 3, because it's so bitter, just have one little break it, have one before bed, and because it does help with that. Y'all ready for the next one? Y'all not gonna believe this. Y'all, I can't believe this one is back on the list. Walnuts. Why I keep telling y'all to eat those walnuts? Because they look like the
Heart.
and the brain. Look at the brain.
That's right.
Don't they look like the brain?
Yeah.
This is brain food.
I call my sister house sometimes. She have walnuts, almonds, any kind of nut. I didn't care. I have myself the nuts. We have sometimes we have nuts that I eat them all day long. I
Yeah.
just can't eat a handful. I eat like 2 or 3.
But they're expensive too. Did y'all notice y'all seen prices on like nuts and things like that? I mean, a small bag will run you about $7 or $8. Yeah. But if you can get some, get your brain food, because this is brain, and walnuts is actually good for you. It has rich in minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants. So it says it increases memory and alertness. All right, so it does increase memory and alertness. All right, y'all ready for the next one? That helps with improving, or just, with dementia and Alzheimer. It is
Oranges.
how did y'all put oranges on the list? Why? Because it's improving your immune system, and when you're breathing better, your oxygen is getting where? It's getting where? To your brain. So we got to make sure we stay on vitamin C so we can improve our immune system. Okay? All right, so we have learned here that oranges is beneficial to us because one organ works with the other organ. Okay? All right, y'all ready for the next one? Y'all gonna love this one. Everybody drinking green tea? So green tea does help. So green tea is also a good mood booster. Also, it helps with just with your neurological or diseases or things that are damaged. But you drinking green tea every day will stimulate your blood flow within your body because of the caffeine that's in there, and all of a sudden it will give you some clarity. Everybody in here want clarity. That's why y'all taking yoga and y'all breathing better. Is that right? All right, so we learned this. Anxiety, depression is another reason why mood changes. Loneliness, isolation, did we not? Then we also learned that dementia, Alzheimer's, and then the next one is, does this not change your mood? Fortunately, there's no food for this one, other than see your doctor if your mood changes because of your medication, okay? All right, so the next one we're looking at, and we can go through this one, is what? Pain and what? So physical pain, does that change your mood? Yes, your knee pain, any kind of pain that you get does change your mood. I did put on here is how your emotions can cause your physical pain, because if you're depressed and you have anxiety, it can cause pain within the body. If this happens, then what should we do? Oh my God, here's the number one pain reliever of all things, is that you should have what? Drink what? Or have some ginger. Did y'all know ginger is a pain fighter? Okay, you don't like it? Oh, you know now that what's real popular is people are having ginger shots every day. Okay, and ginger does one thing, it's a pain fighter, but also it helps the blood to circulate within your body. So I'm telling you, you go to Whole Foods, all these grocery stores, they selling these little bitty ginger shots for $5 so you can have every day. And it helps with stimulating. We know ginger does a lot of things. You get a stomach ache or feel nausea, what do? And you drink a what? Ginger ale. So that does help in that way. Another thing that helps with pain in the body is what? Blueberries. Okay. So my story about blueberries is because they also help with the brain, and because of that, with blueberries, I had started shaking them every day. And when I tell you every day, to the point I had gotten an allergic reaction from just eating blueberries. Okay. No one's supposed to have blueberries like that every day. All right, so I'm talking about in a shake, liquidy, yuck. But so here with blueberries, we know that it actually help relieve what? Pain in the body. The other thing that helps here is what? Pumpkin seeds. Do anybody eat pumpkin seeds? You seen them?
I don't like it. I have ate some, but I don't like it. You put me in the stove with dry them out.
Oh, that's how you do yours?
Yeah, you.
Okay.
When you get them in the bag, you put them in the pan and put them in the stove to dry them out.
Okay. Okay, because some people use actually shakes different seasons on top of it.
Flavor pumpkin seed, any kind of pumpkin seed you get, they have a flavor to them, different flavor. Look, I see people eat them all the time.
Yeah. So pumpkin seeds is very much good for you too. They're high in mineral for you, and it stops leg cramps. So if you got leg cramps and things like that, having pumpkin seeds will actually help with that, okay? Man, what did I say? Not just having one a day, you got to have a handful. The other thing that helps is what? With pain. Tart cherries. So you can have cherry juice, you can eat cherries. So that is known to be an anti-inflammatory, and it has that to be able to reduce what? Pain in the body. And I noticed that people who have like gout, they always have cherry juice or they eat cherries. They are supposed to be good for them. But this is also very helpful for you if you have pain in the body. Why am I giving you this? Because these are things that changes your mood. They can lead to depression and anxiety. All right. So In closing, you guys have been doing this all along. Daily exercising, limiting your caffeine, okay? All right? Or for some people, they might have to stop using caffeine. And the only reason why they were saying that is because, remember, I gave you four reasons why it could be something else that would trigger anxiety and depression. But also they say do what? Eat healthier. Did I not include that inside of that? And also stress management. You guys just had what? Yoga. Okay? All right. So, do we have any questions? And before you leave, we're part of Value Health. So if you ever had any kind of mental health kind of questions, always you can contact them, whether it's for yourself or for someone else, okay? So do you have any questions? We okay? Well, thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Thank you so much. It's always a treat to be here, I tell you.
I know. I like that though. It got me thinking.